الحمد لله الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد نصركم الله ببدر وأنتم أذلة. صدق الله العظيم. Respected listeners and respected viewers, we begin by praising Almighty Allah, sending salutations upon our beloved Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are continuing with our program, The Battles of Our Beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a historical perspective. We have done thus far 4 programs. This is the 5th of the programs. In the previous programs we have done with regard to what is jihad, the different types of jihad, the objectives of jihad, and I'm not going to go back into it. Then we had made mention that in Makkah, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not allowed to fight, right? Was not allowed to repulse the persecution meted out to the Muslims. When he came to Medina, Allah Ta'ala allowed him now to fight. أُذِنَ لِلَّذِينَ يُقَاتَلُونَ بِأَنَّهُمْ ظُلِمُوا. Now you have been given permission to fight because you are persecuted, because you are oppressed. That's one of the objectives of jihad. Jihad with the sword, jihad in the battlefield. Although I did make mention that jihad doesn't necessarily mean only battle. It could mean jihad and striving against your own self, your own soul, your own desires, your carnal desires, and different types of jihad. Then also we had made mention of the objectives of jihad. Then in Medina, when Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes to Medina, how Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam consolidates Medina. He uses the masjid as a means of consolidating the community and the society. He creates an ukhuwat, a brotherhood between the people of Makkah and the people of Medina. And then together with that, what he does is he creates a pact of Medina with 47 clauses, how the people of Medina must stay together with harmony and peace. But of course you had the belligerence and the hostility of the Quraysh. To deal with it, Muslims had to have an army. And there were 2 types of battles that took place. One was the Saraya, the expedition which Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed, commanded, and he oversaw. But he himself did not take part. And there were 2-3 that we had made mention, which were quite of great significance. And the Ghazawat that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself took part in, ulama have said up from between 19 and 27, right? And 9 in which there was, quite active physical type of battle. Now also in the beginning stages there was the interception of the trade caravans. In the last program, and I want people to really think about it because I'm not going to make mention of it again. Why did the Muslims in the beginning stages when they migrated to Medina, why did they intercept the trade caravans? Amongst other reasons, to weaken the Quraysh because they were using their resources against Islam and the Muslims, and also in a way it was to recover the wealth and the property which was confiscated, and this was a way of getting back that which was unlawfully confiscated by the Quraysh. Then one such trade caravan, Abu Sufyan goes to Syria. On his way, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam tries to intercept it, known as Ushaira. He gets away. On his way back, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam takes 313 people, leaves Medina to show that 313 people wasn't, for a full-fledged war or full-fledged battle. It was only to intercept the trade caravan. The trade caravan, somehow or the other, Abu Sufyan comes to know about it. How he comes to know about it, I made mention of. And he sends Zamzam Ghafari to go and tell the people of Makkah about your trade caravan, which nearly every family in Makkah had invested in, is at risk. In the meanwhile, Atika bint Abdul Muttalib, the paternal aunt of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sees a dream. Person comes to Makkah, comes to Abta and say, "O people of Makkah, hasten towards your destruction in 3 days." Goes to the Haram, makes the very same call. Then goes up to the Jabal Abi Qubais, which I gave details of in the last program, and makes the same call. And then he throws down a big rock which comes down the mountains, splits and goes into every household in Makkah. Abu Jahl makes a mockery of it and tells his uncle, the uncle of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the sister, the brother of Atika, that you have a male prophet, now you are claiming a female prophetess. She sees this dream, which talks about a future event. and he makes a mockery. The people of Bani Hashim, they mock and they rebuke Abbas. Why didn't you stand up for your sister? Why didn't you stand up for someone from your clan? Why did you allow Abu Jahl to rebuke and to speak disparagingly about someone in our tribe? Nevertheless, the next day Abbas goes to the Haram, all right, to try and find out and to lessen the impact of what Abu Jahl had told him. That you have one male prophet, now you got another female prophetess. And then Zamzam Ghafari, who Abu Sufyan had sent, makes a dramatic entry into Makkah. And what he does? What he does is he comes into Makkah and he tears his kurta. Right? He comes into the Haram and he tears kurta. And raises the white flag, which was, of course, was an indication, come close, come close. I need to tell you something very, very dramatic and very important. In today's time, it is something like, you get a news and all of a sudden the news stops. Breaking news, breaking news. Here's the breaking news. I'm here to tell you something. And what he does was, he cuts the nose of the camel. Now, when you cut the nose of the camel is a huge animal, right? And it starts bleeding. And in that particular way, he takes the camel, goes up Jabal Abu Qubais in such a manner that blood is flowing from the camel. And he tells the people of Makkah, the trade caravan is at risk. Right? The trade caravan in which so many people, it's at risk. And oh, people of Makkah, do something about it. Do something about it. So now when the people of the Quraysh heard about it, they get inflamed. They get incensed, they get rage, they get angry. As it is, as you would remember, one of the last sarayas, one of the last expeditions, the Muslims, which I made mention, led by Abdullah bin Jahash in one of the previous programs, they intercepted a trade caravan and Amr bin Hadrami was killed. Right? So they thought that someone was killed previously, here something also might happen. So Abu Jahl uses this as an opportunity to get the people of Makkah and said, we are going to not only protect the trade caravan, we are going to put aliyadu billah an end to the Muslims, and we are going to obliterate and we are going to completely finish them up. Now, this was the situation. However, after a few days, the news came that Abu Sufyan has managed to protect his trade caravan and evade the people of Medina, the Muslims, and he's on his way to Makkah. So he sends another message that don't worry about it, I'm safe, don't worry about me. The trade caravan is no more at risk. So the Quraysh then, now one faction of the Quraysh said, why must we fight now? We've got everything we need, the trade caravan is safe. Abu Jahl said, no. We can't remain like this. Let us do something. We have to show. We are going to go with a big army. And he gets the people ready with the rage. He gets Amr bin Hadrami's family to say that, my family member, Amr bin Hadrami, was killed. And we have to take revenge with regard to it. And he wanted to demonstrate their power and the ability to defend themselves and protect their caravans. He made it known that we will march to Badr, which was a venue for the annual celebration of the Arabs. The effect of this hue and cry was instantaneous, and the news stunned the Quraysh. And they immediately, remembering their pride that was wounded when the Muslims intercepted the Hadrami caravan, they therefore swiftly mastered almost all of their forces, and none stayed behind except Abu Lahab, who delegated someone who owed him some money to go on his behalf. They mobilized other tribes, some tribes that were nearby, to contribute to the war against our beloved Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. All the clans of Quraysh gave their consent, except, according to one riwayat, Banu Adi and one Bani Zuhra, due to the wise nature of Akhnas bin Shuraik. So now the trade caravan, which was the original reason why they got incensed, although that was safe, they still wanted to make a show. Soon an excited throng of 1,300 soldiers, including 100 horsemen and 600 mailed soldiers, with a large number of camels, were clamoring to proceed to fight against the Muslims, to what they had in mind, to put an end to the Muslim issue once and for all, aliyadu billah. for food supplies, they used to slaughter an alternate number of camels. One day 9, one day 10 camels, right? And this was, they got all together, right? And they use pressure. They use very amazing type of pressure. Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt, just to give an example of how they use the pressure. Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt was one of the most vehement and the most vile of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's enemies. There were different categories of enemies. Some people were enemies, but they had some sort of, for lack of a better word, some dignity. Like, so you never saw cruel things done by Abu Sufyan, and maybe that's the reason why Allah Ta'ala granted him hidayat. Allah knows best. But Uqba bin Abu Mu'ayt, one day Abu Jahl said, who will place the intestines of an animal on the back of our beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam while he is making salat? And Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt said, I will do it. So he took the intestines of a camel and placed it upon our beloved Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam while he was reading salat. And he was the same person. And one day while Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was reading salat in the haram, he came to strangle Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He was on the verge of strangulating and killing Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu came and he protected Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And he distanced the people from harming Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to the extent that they turned against him. And they beated him almost to the point of death. And he told the people, أَتَقْتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَن يَقُولَ رَبِّيَ اللَّهِ. Are you going to kill a person? Are you going to kill a person because he says Allah is his Lord? So after that event in which he placed the intestines and he tried to strangle Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the haram made badua against them. تَقْتُلُونَ بَدَدًا. Wallah, each and every one of these people who had done whatever they had done, choose them, and wallah, you destroy them, right? So Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt, when he heard this, although he was such an enemy of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he knew that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam always, whatever his du'as were truthful. So he didn't want to make himself available for the battle. Abu Jahl wanted him because he was one of the prominent people. So what he did was to put him to shame. He got someone to present a female perfume to him, a perfume that was used by the females, and he said that, this is indicating your lack of courage. So Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt, then they enticed him and said, right, we'll get a fast camel. If at any time you are in danger, you make yourself back to Mecca. So this was the type of pressure they put everyone in. They put everyone in so that they could take part in this battle. So although the trade caravan, they got the news that the trade caravan was safe and on his way to Mecca, they wanted to make a spectacle. And they wanted to go to Badr to go and fight with the Muslims. And this is the type of persuasion and pressure they put on the people. And inshallah, we will continue with this after the break. Respected viewers, welcome back to our program. In the first part, we looked at the beginning stages of Badr, how it happened, how Atika binti Abdul Muttalib sees the dream, and then Abu Jahl, mocks at her, and that dream was a person coming and telling the people of Makkah, hasten to your destruction. I made mention of it. And then after the trade caravan, Abu Sufyan coming back from Syria, and the Muslims were trying to intercept it. Somehow or the other, because of his shrewdness, he uses an unusual route, and he evades the Muslims. However, he sends Zamzam Ghafari to come and tell the tell the people of Makkah, not the Muslims, tell the people of Makkah, your trade caravan is at risk. And he comes in a dramatic manner. He cuts open the nose of the camel, and there's great amount of blood. And he said, "O people of Makkah, your trade caravan in which nearly everyone has invested is at risk." So the people of Abu Jahl and the people of Makkah, they get together, and they started saying that even if the trade caravan, which afterwards they got the news, has managed to evade the Muslims, we are going to make a spectacle. We're going to take a great army. We're going to go to Badr. We are going to fight the Muslims if they are there. If not, we are going to show the people that we are able to protect our trade caravans. We'll show our might. We'll show our pride. We will show our arrogance. And of course, they use pressure, and I use the example of the pressure that they use against Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt. They also use a very similar type of pressure against Umayyah ibn Khalf. Umayyah ibn Khalf didn't want to go. Right? One of the reasons why he didn't want to go was one of the leaders of the Ansar came to visit Umayyah ibn Khalf once. I think it was Sa'd bin Mu'adh or Sa'd bin Rabi, one of the two. Right? They used to have a friendship before Islam. So whenever he used to come to Makkah, Sa'd used to come and visit Umayyah ibn Khalf. So he used to come make tawaf. So in one occasion he came. So Umayyah ibn Khalf, knowing that the people of Medina has protected Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, said, let us go at a time when there is no one. So he went, and he went at the time of Qaylula, was making tawaf, and Abu Jahl came and saw him and said, oh, you people of Medina, you want to come and perform tawaf while you gave refuge to someone who we turned away. And he used the term Sabi, the one who turns away from the religion of our forefathers. So, he rebuked Sa'd. In the meanwhile, Sa'd told him, oh Abu Jahl, be careful of what you are saying. If you continue taunting us and preventing us from performing tawaf, we will protect your trade caravans. And Umayyah ibn Khalf went to go and protect, Abu Jahl. And Sa'd said certain things that indicated that Umayyah ibn Khalf is going to be killed by the Muslims. So when this happened, Umayyah ibn Khalf was very, very reluctant to take part. However, he was impressed by, Abu Jahl. You have to take part. You're such a prominent person. Allama Subki Rahmatullah Alayhi has written that before they left, the Quraysh went to the Kaaba and prayed, O Almighty, whoever amongst the two groups is closer to you and upon the right path, then grant them victory. Right? They did not realize that they were making dua against their own self. The Quran has referred to it in Surah Anfal. إِن تَسْتَفْتِهُ فَقَدْ جَاءَكُمُ الْفَتْحُ وَإِن تَنْتَهُوا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَإِن تَعُودُوا نَعُودْ. Amazing. You are asking Allah Ta'ala for victory in Tastaf. And if you are asking Allah Ta'ala, Allah will grant victory not to you, to the Muslims. It is better that you don't make such a dua. And if you repeat the dua, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will repeat the victory for the Muslims. So the Quran has referred to this. So this way they get everyone together. Now, as the Muslims come to realize what exactly is happening, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he came to realize the trade caravan has evaded us, and after evading us, it has managed to get to Makkah, and the people of Makkah have become incensed, enraged, and in anger. And in that anger, what they are doing is now they are getting together for a full-fledged war and a battle. And they have left Makkah with great amount of pride, arrogance, to try and prove a point and show a point. Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam calls a mashwara of all the companions. He put forward the situation. We had left Medina for the sake of intercepting a trade caravan. Look at the difference between Badr and Tabuk. Tabuk, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made it compulsory for all the believers to participate. In Badr, there was absolutely no rebuking or shaming of anyone who did not take part in Badr, because it was not meant to be a full-fledged war or battle. You were going to intercept a trade caravan. And you would remember I said that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, whoever is ready immediately come. Some Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, we are not ready now immediately. We will only come after a while. So in this particular way, the Muslims army came out of Medina to intercept the trade caravan. Now all of a sudden, they are facing a full-fledged war, a full-fledged battle. They only had 2 horses, 70 camels, compared to such a great battalion. They had 313. Here you had initially 1,300 people of the Quraysh. Right? So Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam called the Sahaba and said, what do we do? Now, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did tell the Sahaba that Allah Ta'ala has promised us a victory in one of the two. Either Allah has promised us a victory in intercepting the trade caravan, or Allah has promised us a victory in the battle that was going to follow after the trade caravan managed to evade us. Right? So Allah Ta'ala has made mention with regard to وَإِنَّ فَرِيقًا مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ لَكَارِهُونَ. Some of the Sahaba, human beings, after all, they were human beings. Some of them, not all of them, most of them were, they gave the view, as I will go on to make mention, of engaging and taking part in the battle. Some of them felt that if Allah Ta'ala had promised us Either one of the two, maybe we could have intercepted the trade caravan. There would have been perhaps lesser risk, lesser battle, and maybe more type of financial benefits. But Allah Ta'ala had a different plan. Allah Ta'ala wanted to make a situation of differentiating between truth and falsehood, between right and wrong, between vice and virtue. Allah Ta'ala, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهِ. Allah is a planner, we plan, and Allah Ta'ala plans, and Allah Ta'ala is the best of planners. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam called the Sahaba, and he told the Sahaba that what do we do with regard to this whole situation? So initially Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, we left out to go and intercept the trade caravan. The trade caravan might have invaded us. Now they have come out with a full force. We can't go back to Medina. We must go and fight them. Umar radiallahu anhu also gave the same type of viewpoint, that we must engage them. We must go and fight, irrespective of what happens. And then Miqdad bin Aswad gave perhaps one of the greatest encouragements. Harib man shit, Salim min shit, Khudh min amwalina ma shit. O Allah, go and fight with whomsoever you want. O Prophet of Allah, go and fight with whomsoever you want. Make peace with whomsoever you want. Take from our wealth whatever you want. What you take from our wealth is more valuable and more beloved to us, and we like it more than what you leave with us. And O Prophet of Almighty Allah, we will not tell you what Musa alayhi salatu wasalam told the tribe of Musa alayhi salam, the Bani Israel told unto Musa alayhi salam, Idhab anta wa rabbuka faqatila. Go you and your Lord and go and fight. We will not tell you like that, O Prophet of Almighty. Abdullah ibn Masud radiallahu anhu used to say, that time when Miqdad bin Aswad said these words, we all were envious. We all hoped that we could have been the one to say those such beautiful, encouraging words. Miqdad bin Aswad took the honor. Sometimes it happens, you find yourself in a situation, you must take the situation. Sometimes there's an opportunity. Wallahi al-Azim, there's an opportunity to do good. Go and do it. There's an opportunity to make a mark. There's an opportunity to make a statement. There's an opportunity to do something. Go and take it. Miqdad bin Aswad radiallahu anhu took it. And up till now, till the day of Qiyamah, we will talk highly about him. What he said with regard to encouraging the Muslims. Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is still silent. And then Sa'ad bin Mu'adh radiallahu anhu understood. He understood what Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wanted. Because all the three people who had spoken in favor of engagement, in favor of fighting, they were all from the people of Makkah. They were Muhajirs. No one from the Ansar. Now Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wanted the Ansar to speak because the Ansar had an agreement with Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that we will fight and we will protect you in Medina. There was nothing about protecting Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam outside Medina. This was outside Medina. So Sa'ad bin Mu'adh radiallahu ta'ala got up. Ya Rasulullah, I know what you want. You are worried with regard to the Ansar. Ya Rasulullah, go and do whatever you want. Even if you go to Barq al-Ghamid, far away Yemen, we will go with you. A very important statement he said, that if you take us to the ocean, we will go with you to the ocean. The Arabs initially were very, very afraid of the ocean. Umar radiallahu anhu one day asked someone that how is it to travel in the ocean? So the person gave an example. He said, you see, if you have a piece of stick in a water, in a swamp, and on the top of the stick, just above the water, there are some animals, insects or worms. He said, that is how it is to travel in the ocean. So when Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu anhu asked him to start off a navy in his time, he said, no, this is not something that we do. Only Uthman radiallahu anhu gave permission to start off a navy in his time. So in this particular way, Sa'ad bin Mu'adh radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, go and do. So when Sa'ad bin Mu'adh, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam became very, very happy with it. Very, very confident. Very, very consoled. And then the Muslims also decided now to march to Badr. This was going to be the beginning of the first and perhaps the most greatest battle in the history of Islam, the first and the most important battle. And we will continue with this in our next program. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.